Wang Teng died at the hands of some street gangs on Earth and found himself alive in a classroom. He then saw his blonde friend, who asked him to go to the Wild Rose Bar with him for a drink. He was surprised a bit by seeing Xu Jie after a long time, who looked younger than he remembered. He then looked at his selfie cam to confirm his guess, and was sure that he was in his 17-year-old self. He slapped himself hard and wanted to wake up from his dream, but he was still there. Xu Jie was still there. Everything was there, and couldn't be more real. So after a while, Wang Teng rejected Xu Jie for the party invite, and at that time, everyone gathered at the window and shouted for a girl called Man Rong. He was surprised, so he joined them too, and saw a girl fighting a bunch of guys and moving like movies. Every attack she made was accompanied by wind. He pondered, but couldn't find any memory of Man Rong being a good fighter. Then everyone was talking about fantasy terms like advanced martial arts and martial disciple. He again doubted if this was really his past. So to really confirm that, he needs to go to his own home and see if things match. On the way home, he searched on the internet and found out that 30 years ago, dimensional rifts appeared all over the world, and those rifts connected this world to another dimension where the Xianwu continent was. In the Xianwu continent, everyone could become a martial warrior by using a kind of energy. Scientists have studied the force and found that it might be dark matter. With the appearance of the rifts, the Earth seems to have changed in a significant way, as random people were very compatible with this energy and could harness this energy to become stronger. Humans weren't the only thing that changed, but also the plants and animals mutated and became much bigger, becoming a threat to human dominance. The nations of the world united to explore the dimensional rift, and armies and different specialists were sent to the Xingwu continent. And the first of those that went into the Xianwu continent became the pioneer for the future of the world. After some trials and errors, humans on Earth could cultivate in the right way. The countries came to a common consensus and published the cultivation method. Henceforth, it was the dawn of the martial arts era. Wang Teng was a bit hesitant to go home as he was unsure if his family would be the same. So he went in and met his mom with tears in his eyes. For it has been many years since he saw her as she died due to the grief of his father dying. In the past, he was from a rich family due to his family's business, but the company of his family went bankrupt after his dad offended someone, which also resulted in his own death, following by his mother and lastly him, who drank himself till full of grief every day. He was sure that there was no way gangsters would randomly kill people like him, so it was pretty obvious that it was the power whom his dad offended had pulled the strings, and all these had taught him something. If one wants to live a peaceful life, one needs money and political power. In this world's term, that would be becoming stronger. Here, the strong equals wealth, and it's the only way to keep the people he cares about away from being hurt. So with that goal in mind, he went to a nearby martial house equal to his previous world's gym. On the entrance, an armed guard asked him for an entrance inspection. The guard used a holographic scanner to scan his full body. He then noticed the force runes that were inscribed into the firearm, like an electronic circuit, which made them much stronger than any ordinary firearms. Even a martial warrior would get done in by this weapon if penetrated. He registered himself at the reception desk and was recommended to go to training hall number 2, as he was just a newbie. In the training hall, he saw balls. Not weight balls, but literally flying colorful balls, and noticed that everybody was blind to the balls, as if they didn't see them. So he touched one of the balls, and was informed that he gained strength by the unit of 1. He was then informed in a mysterious way that the balls were residual energy left by those who trained energy as they were unable to utilize the energy entirely. Later in the training hall, he bowed down at people's feet, as though he was going to worship them, but his hand would just rub their balls. Females were ashamed of his behavior and called him a creep, but he didn't care as he rubbed the balls of girls and boys alike. He was embarrassed many times too, but he was used to it after a while for the sake of becoming a man with steel balls. He was sure by then that he was the only person who had this ability. Then again, it wasn't that astonishing, for this world was a magical world. Then he saw that a gym guy came to him to give him some martial arts books, so he randomly chose one, which earned him a head bash and caused a meaty ball to appear on his head. After that, the ball rubbing got hardcore. He even chased a fat guy, as the fat guy was like a golden goose to him, for he was dropping fat balls every now and then. When he checked his status through his unique ability, he found out that he obtained new skills in basic fist and foot techniques by popping people's balls. Not to mention the strength and speed also increased by a very large margin. He was exhausted when he got back home. Mom told him to sit at the dining table as she gave him some noodles. When the dad asked him why he was late, he said he went to the martial gym of Jixin. Father Wang was surprised, for Wang Teng didn't like martial arts before, so he said that he recently understood the importance of martial arts, and began training in it. His dad was a bit happy and said that since he wanted to learn martial arts, he would try to hire the best teachers. But Wang Tang stopped his dad from calling a teacher and said he must test his talent first, and said that for now, he could just train at the Jingxin Martial House. Of course, the real reason Wang Tang refused was that his ability to pop balls substituted any need for teachers. Dad agreed and said that the Jingxin House was one of the 3 giants of China and should have good trainers. Then he took his leave and went to his room. Back in the dining room, his parents decided to buy some meats of star beasts to aid in his training in the future. Next day in the gym, he began rubbing the balls of people he knew and also those he didn't know. And after fusing the balls, he went to test his strength, speed, weight, and physique. He guessed that his skills were at the beginner stage of a martial disciple, so he made his goal to become an intermediate stage soon. During that session of scratching balls, he obtained basic sword skills along with other stats. So he went in and took out a sword. The onlookers were shocked, for he practiced both boxing and swordsmanship. When Brother Peng came, he also was surprised by Wang Tang's skills. Wang Tang also noticed Teacher Peng, so he greeted him. Wang asked Peng why he was so early today. He said that he was in his 20s and just an advanced martial disciple, so he needed to work hard to become a true martial warrior. When he left, he said that someone else was going to guide him today, as he had some emergency work. After that, Wang Tang began his next round of wool collecting. This time, it was a girl. He posed left and right as though he wanted to charm the girl, but in fact, he was just rubbing her balls. In the end, he was beaten till his head grew meatballs. He wooled the sheep till the night, and was satisfied as his strength finally reached the level of intermediate martial disciple. He gained blade skills and foot skills, along with a massive strength boost. When at the dinner table, he was asked about his day at the gym. He said that one of his senior brothers said that he was talented. His dad was happy to hear that, and assured him to practice well and not care about the star beast's meat that martial artists needed to eat. But he suppressed his urge to reveal his real strength, for it would be too shocking to reach the intermediate level after just 2 days of going to the gym. At that time, he got a phone call from Xu Jie and was told to come to the Rose Club, so he took his leave soon after. He remembers this club very well as he got the news of his family going bankrupt in this very club from Xu Jie. But he swore that he would change everything in this life, and was very confident with the ability to rub balls. He greeted them as they said he was late. He also saw Bai Wei, the pink-haired girl. Later, Xu Jie began drinking and chatting with them along with another guy called Yu Hao, who boasted that he was at the beginner stage of martial disciple. Then Xu Jie rebuked Yu Hao for not telling them about him training, and said Yu Hao needs to watch their back if someone bullies them in the future. As Wang Tang was flirting with Bai Wei, he remembered a guy named Yuan Zhen, who used to be one of their friends, so he asked Xu Jie about him. Xu Jie humped and said that Yuan Zhen was no longer part of their group, as he had become a lackey of Li Rongcheng. So Wang Tang said that everyone has their own aspirations, and there's nothing they can do. In the meantime, a drunk guy finally noticed them and went directly for Bai Wei. Just as he was about to grope her, Yu Hao, the beginner martial warrior, saved the damsel but was beaten by the guy. And Yu Hao told Wang Tang that the man was an intermediate stage martial disciple, while he was just a beginner stage. But when the man got closer, he was slapped shitless by Wang Tang. Wang Tang moved forward with hands in his pocket as though scratching balls. When the drunk man attacked again, Wang blocked it with only one hand and counterattacked with a punch in the abdomen, which cracked the made-in-China walls behind. In the process, he obtained more and more balls from him. Then the guy threatened Wang Tang and said that they would regret hurting him and asked for Wang Tang's name. So Wang Tang made up a lie and said that his name was Li Rongcheng. He gave the name of Li Rong because he hated this guy for making Yuan leave their group. And also he didn't want any trouble coming to him or his family before he got strong enough. And he was sure that it wouldn't take him long to become stronger with the help of his ability. When the man left, everyone laughed, seeing how Wang pushed the blame on Li Rongcheng. Even Xu Jie praised him. Then Xu Jie also rebuked Wang for not telling them that he had such firm balls. After they left, the manager of the club, who was hiding beneath a table, asked his lackey not to say anything about this incident to anyone, since Wang Tang was an intermediate martial disciple at such a young age. And it was impossible to be at the intermediate stage before 20, without the backing of a strong family. On the other hand, it was Zhao Gangbao who also had powerful backing. It's better to stay quiet. He then added that they should only tell the boss about this issue. When Bai Wei went to her home, she began fantasizing about Wang Tang, for he was so strong today. But little did she know Wang Tang only saw her as a friend. The next day at the branch of Jingxin Martial House, Wang Tang was groping balls as usual. He thought he was early, but still saw some people that were even earlier. Thus the gym was filled with Wang Tang's greetings, as he did a handshake with everyone and rubbed their balls in the process. He obtained more skill proficiency and stats, but it still felt slow on this floor, so he wanted to go to the upper floors, and found out that a beginner stage martial disciple wasn't allowed to go to the next floor. So he told his fat sheep that he had broken through to the intermediate stage martial disciple, which really shocked him. The onlookers who heard him almost dropped their weight balls on their feet in shock. Upon entering the second floor, he saw colorful light balls illuminating the room. There he saw the same fat sheep that he had met previously, and again chased him throughout the gym. The fat guy wouldn't be angry if it was a girl chasing him, but to be chased by a man with balls from time to time, he was so pissed. So he asked if Wang wanted to duel with him, and Wang Tang replied on one condition, which was to call him Big Brother if he won. But the fat guy didn't accept the bet, and ran again, but was eventually chased down by Wang Tang under the shock of his fellow trainees. Finally, he admitted defeat, and recognized Wang Tang as his big brother. Then he announced if anyone wanted to practice swords, guns, or fist with him, then they could join. But everyone ignored him, and called him stupid. He didn't care much, and went to the duel room where he fought for real with people, and also rubbed the balls of the opponent, which made him learn their skills. What they don't know is the skills they learned with their hard work for several decades were being retained by Wang Tang within seconds. After the end of the fighting, he almost reached the advanced level of martial disciple. His basic fist skills, footwork, and sword skills reached a perfect state, while his blade skill reached the big achievement stage. He then began thinking of why, of all people, he would have such a cheat ability that could make him reach almost the advanced stage of the martial disciple in days, which takes even the most geniuses years. But he had no choice but to rely on this ability now. Next day during lunch break at school, Bai Wei complained to Wang Tang as he didn't pick up her calls recently. Wang said that he had been busy recently. While the group was at the dining table, Yu Hao pointed at Yuan Zheng, who was wearing glasses and was behind a guy that looked beaten and bruised. Bai Wei pointed out that the bruised-faced guy must be Li Rongcheng. They began to ponder as how he got beaten like this. Then they all looked at Wang Tang. Wang Tang truthfully said that he didn't do shit. Li Rongchen couldn't hold his balls anymore and shouted at the group for laughing at his misery. But they didn't stop laughing but called him a dickhead, so Li Rongchen rushed with his fist to penetrate Xu Jie with his big dickhead. But his hand was caught by Wang Tang. Wang Tang told Li Rong not to take the words of Xu Jie seriously, but Li Rong didn't listen and struggled to break free from Wang Tang's grip. But when he broke free, he fell on his butt. Then Li Rong and Yuan Zhen fled while cursing Wang Tang and said to go to the stadium after school if he had the guts. When the group asked if he was really going to fight him, he said that he didn't give a shit about the fight. But even if Wang Tang didn't look for trouble, it came his way, nonetheless. When Li Rong didn't find Wang Tang at the stadium, he barged into the classroom with his men and asked for the duel again. Bai Wei shouted at Li Rong's cowardness as he was trying to fight Wang Tang with a blade when he didn't bring any weapon. But Wang assured her and started the fight with a borrowed blade. He then evaded Li Rong's attack and slashed him from behind. But Li Rong didn't give up as he again rushed with his full aura, but again Wang evaded him and knocked him out. How would Li Rong know that Wang Feng had almost perfected the basic blade technique, not to mention other weapons that he had mastered? Wang Tang then tossed Li Rong to Yuan Zhen and the other fellows. Yuan Zheng then understood that he had just left heaven and stepped into hell, and he regretted ever betraying the group. During the fight, speed was one of the biggest reasons to win against Li Rong. His stats, after days of scratching balls, reached an astounding 1356 at strength, 632 at speed, physic 121, and enlightenment at 51, along with his fist, footwork, sword, and blade skills that reached mastery level from perfection level. Outside the school, he saw Lin Chuan working part-time at an ice cream shop, the same as in his previous life. And her fellow workers, as usual, offered to give her a ride back home. These two people competed against each other to get the attention of Lin Chuan. Then they were reprimanded by the female manager while Lin Chuan rejected them. Seeing all the flirting, Wang Tang also wanted to have fun, so he went to her shop and asked her to give him milk tea. She was surprised that her deskmate had come to this shop. After knowing that Wang Tang was the deskmate of Lin Chuan, the duo started spewing some of their imagination, which annoyed Lin Chuan. Wang Tang then asked when Lin was going home that day, and if she wanted to go together. She also agreed, as it looked like the only way to get the pesky stalkers away. And as expected, the two guys were disappointed. At the parking space, she thanked Wang Tang and told him she could now go by herself. But Wang Tang pointed at some people that were peeking at her from the corner, and asked if she really was okay. Seeing no choice, she then asked if he wanted her to ride the bike. But Wang Tang didn't reply, and just put the helmet on her head in a rough manner, and told her to hold tight. And before he left a warning to the stalkers. Then Wang asked how Lin Chuan would thank him now that Wang Tang had helped her twice. In reply, she said that she would help him with the college entrance exams, and it would be easy as he was his deskmate. When they were in an alley, she told Wang Tang to stop and said she could now go alone from there. Before Lin Chuan left, Wang Tang gave her the milk tea back and said that he didn't actually like drinking milk tea, but she replied saying he just took a milk tea to school a week ago. Then it dawned on Wang Tang that he used to drink milk tea a lot in the past. So he dismissed that matter as it reminded him of the past and bade goodbye to Lin Chuan. Right after Lin Chuan left, he heard a loud gunshot. There he saw a group of martial disciples possibly committing some crimes. The group noticed him, and the leader told his lackeys to take Wang Tang hostage since the police would be arriving soon. Wang Tang, seeing this, fled as he didn't want to get caught in the mess, but a bullet almost grazed him as the leader told him to stop running. And Wang Tang had no choice but to comply as he wasn't strong enough to be completely unfazed by the bullet. Of course, all this time, different types of plans of escaping began to hatch in his head. Soon after, the leader slapped him and dragged him to the van. And the fact that they don't know that he's a martial disciple is the biggest trump card he had, and he had to utilize this well. Not long after, dozens of police cars started chasing them, and when the cops started shooting, the leader showed Wang Tang and threatened the police to kill Wang Tang, so the cop cars immediately slowed down. Wang Tang noticed that these criminals even shot a couple of policemen, and he understood that when they escaped, he would also be killed. After hours of driving, they stopped the van and went into the forest along with Wang Tang. And in the forest, he finally felt that the chance to kill these people has arrived. So he immediately took action and killed the boss. And after killing the leader, he got the shooting skill. But he didn't waste time and immediately evaded the sight of the group in the darkness, got behind them, and shot them one by one with his newfound shooting skill with the leader's gun. But there were still some people left. But they were taken down one by one. He then faced a man that also shot him, but thankfully it didn't hit him. When he thought it was over, sudden nausea hit him for killing so many people, and just at that time, the man he thought was dead had shot him again. Luckily, it didn't hit him. He reprimanded himself for feeling nauseous at such an important moment. He then comforted himself, as he would have to get used to killing if he really wanted to get stronger. In the middle of the night, it was quiet in the jungle, as occasional howls of wolves could be heard. In the darkness, Wang Tang took one of the guns and hid it in the jungle. Soon the police came hearing the gunshot from the jungle, and Wang Tang acted like he was feeling mentally hurt after killing so many people. He couldn't just escape since the police must have recorded his face with a car cam when he was threatened as a hostage. And if he left, he would be a suspect. So he told the police that he killed the criminals with his advanced level of martial disciple strength. Next day at school, he picked up balls that enhanced his knowledge about the subjects that were taught in school. And it had become a daily routine for Wang Tang to be touching invisible things in school, which made him look like a creep. Shujie came over and invited him to a banquet at Miss Zhou's house. Wang Tang rejected him, saying he needed to go to the Jishin martial house this weekend, but Bai Wei insisted that he must rest once in a while. So in the end, Wang Tang accepted their invitation. At the banquet, many high-ranking guests came. There he saw Li Rong talking with Miss Zhou. After a while, Miss Zhou came over to Wang Tang and asked his name. But Wang Tang told her that he was not worthy of introduction in front of Miss Zhou. But someone informed her that Wang Tang was the 5th young master of the Wang family. After that, she grabbed the audience's attention and said that they would be hosting a hunting competition today, and the person who caught the most prey would be given a secret gift. Wang Tang thought that it was really a good coincidence to receive a shooting skill just before the competition. He thought since many people would be using guns, it should be a very good place to gather light balls of shooting skill. As Shujie and Wang Tang were hunting, they were suddenly attacked by small bullets coming from the bushes. Soon after, a fox ran towards them and hid behind Wang Tang. And it turned out this was Li Rongcheng chasing the fox. Wang Tang then noticed that this fox was quite intelligent as it hid behind him who was the strongest and knew that he could save him. Thus, he rejected Li Rongcheng's offer to give the spirit fox away. Then Miss Zhou also said that they would let Wang have the fox since it was pretty intelligent, and it would be a pity to kill it. Then, suddenly, a huge explosion shook the ground as a mushroom cloud covered the sky above the forest. Then Miss Zhou told everyone to go back to the residence and not to panic. She then told her bodyguards to inspect the explosion. Everyone was surprised by the speed of the bodyguards as they moved as fast as advanced stage martial disciples. Wang Tang then told Xu Jie to take care of the white fox, as he would also go and take a look. When Wang Tang left, Miss Zhou also noticed, and was surprised by Wang Tang's speed, which revealed his advanced martial disciple stage. Then the bodyguards returned, and said that the sound came from extremely far away, and nothing happened within their area. So she just dismissed them and left. Wang Feng was jumping from tree to tree and saw deep pits on the ground, and thought that there must be a fight between high-level martial warriors. He was more excited than afraid, as he never rubbed the balls of a martial warrior. He was very curious, so he went closer, and saw a fireman laughing crazily after he killed another man. But the man's joy didn't last long as his head was penetrated by a bullet from Wang Tang. Wang Tang was lucky that he had a gun then. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to kill the man in a head-on attack. There he saw a light ball he never saw before, and it was about a fire talent that was at the beginner stage. He also saw some sword skills of fire killing, and many fire force balls too. He rubbed those balls and fused them. Immediately after, the system notified him of the description of the skills. A new talent column appeared in the system screen. But he was even more joyful when he saw that the ice talent balls and ice skills were still there after the Iceman was killed by the fireman. So he touched those balls too. And as soon as he touched the ice ball, his body became a battleground for the two different and opposite attributes. He thought of this possibility, but he thought the omnipotent system would make things smoother. He suffered intense pain from constant melting and freezing. But he persevered, and kept himself awake throughout the pain, and gradually succeeded in creating a balance between these two talents. After that, he went back silently to the residence. But as soon as he got into the banquet, he heard Miss Zhou announcing to everyone that Wang Tang was an advanced martial disciple. She then asked if he found out anything from checking out the explosion. Wang Tang replied that he was just a martial disciple and didn't have as much experience as the bodyguards she had, who fought many battles. And so he added that going out to check out the place was a waste of time, as he didn't find out anything. He then also said that a fire broke out where the explosion occurred, so he escaped from the fire. He was laughing inside as he was the one that set the place on fire to cover up his little crimes. Well, he didn't forget to hide his gun and his bike outside before coming to the party too. Then, after the party was over, Wang Tang went back home after giving Bai Wei a lift. Back in his bedroom, he was feeling really grateful as he listened to his curiosity and left to inspect the explosion. Otherwise, he would never be able to gain so much. He also gained rune weapons and gloves that could be sold for millions. Then he took out an egg, which must be the reason for the two warriors fighting each other. He contemplated the miracles of the system again, and was curious about what this system really was, and its origin, while he fell asleep. The next day he was in a hurry to go to the class as he was late due to the late night's banquet. But as soon as he got into his class, he was thanked by a group of students as they said Wang Tang told them in advance that this year's exam quota would be eased, and even the intermediate disciple would be able to take the exam, which didn't let them give up. Well, his previous self said this when he heard it from his father. After the class was over, he went to the pet store to try to find incubators for hatching the egg he got. On his way, he saw a star beast that was targeting him. It kept attacking him, and Wang Tang understood it came by smelling the scent of the egg. Just as he was about to throw the egg at the beast, he saw the beast that was chasing him killed with a single arrow that came from nowhere. Later, he found out that person that killed the bird was a martial warrior from the City Protection Bureau. But Wang Tang's focus was on a blank transparent ball that was dropped from the beast. But he was stopped from going forward by security personnel. Back in his home, he experimented with a new talent called Spiritual Sight, and found out that it let him see the energy types. He was very happy, as if this was true, then he would be able to find out a martial warrior's strength and talent type by using his eyes. But after a while of use, he felt that his mind was becoming tired, and he understood that it consumed spiritual energy to use this talent. But at that moment, he noticed that an energy source was approaching his direction fast. So he quickly went towards the location and saw a man who asked him about the explosion that had happened days ago. Wang Tang initially denied his involvement, but the guy pointed out the swords and gloves he was using, threatened him to hand them over, and also added that there was a big difference between a martial warrior and a martial disciple. Wang Tang pretended to give up to lower the guard of the guy. Then he attacked with the ice sword with his ice talent. But the guy blocked it, but to the guy's surprise, another blade covered in fire came towards him as it slashed on his chest. The guy was dumbfounded, for Wang Tang was able to use ice and fire talent at the same time. Then the guy created an earth wall to block the attacks of Wang Tang. But it was broken by Wang Tang's ice fist. Thus, the life of another martial warrior ended at the hands of a martial disciple. After the fight, he quickly grabbed the bubbles and gained earth talent too. When he got back home again, he felt the need to carry the weapons more safely. So he browsed the internet for any method to carry weapons, and found out he could use a weapon carrier casket. But when he went to buy it, he found out that he needed a martial warrior's ID number for the purchase. He was annoyed, and told the salesman to deliver it first, then he would tell him the ID number. But the salesman said he needed to register and have a certificate to use a rune item. Next day in class, Wang Teng was constantly looking at Lin Chuan. She noticed it and became a bit embarrassed, but Wang Teng then asked her to tell the teacher to cover for him as he was going to skip class again. When asked where he was going, he said he was going to the Martial Art Association. Near the association, Wang Teng noticed that the majority of people living here knew martial arts. Thus, he wore a disguise to protect his identity and got into the reception room. However, his face mask caught quite the attention. Nonetheless, the receptionist guided him through the procedure, and Wang Teng also completed the process smoothly. In another place, a guy with glasses got a notification that said that Wang Teng became a martial warrior at the age of 17. They talked about how they also got a report of the same student being involved in killing criminals just days ago. So they looked at the surveillance camera and immediately recognized him. They also talked about how the reports say that Wang Teng became an advanced martial warrior after joining the Jixing Martial House within a month. After getting the ID card, he left the association and returned to the class. Back in the class, Lin Chuan asked Wang Teng if he could lend her some money. She was embarrassed to the point of becoming as red as a tomato. Then Wang Teng asked how much. Then she timidly said 150,000 and that she would pay it back as soon as possible. Wang Teng didn't hesitate as he earned quite a lot these days by robbing people, not to mention his family was rich. He then comforted her, saying not to worry and just pay attention to her study. Wang Teng then wondered what made her stoop so low to seek money, so he followed her back after transferring the money. There he saw Lin Chuan getting into her family shop that sells groceries. When he was hiding at the corner, he met a bald guy that looked as round as balls and threatened him not to look at them. Soon he found out about their identity as they started seeking money from the shop owner and threatened to close the shop if the money was not ready. Then Wang Teng saw Lin Chuan's mother saying they got half the money after borrowing some and sought for a few more days to get the full money. But the bald man shouted that they had given them enough time and asked his underlings, who were martial artists, to destroy the shop. But Lin Chuan stepped out and told the gangsters to take out the loan receipt, and she will give them 150,000 that they owed. Then the gang leader agreed, saying he would comply, but added that 150,000 was 3 days ago, and now, with the interest of 3 days, it would be 200,000. Lin Chuan was furious and said that they would sue the gangsters, but the gangster didn't look afraid and said that it won't work, but if she became his girlfriend he could forgive all the loans. Then Wang Teng asked Lin about her father, and she said that he would see him later. When they got upstairs, Wang Teng saw a man that didn't have one leg, sleeping on the sofa. When asked, she said that his dad used to be martial warrior, but when he went into Xingwu continent, he not only lost his legs, but even his martial arts were crippled. So Wang Teng asked her why she wanted to practice martial arts so much, when she knew martial arts were filled with difficulties. In reply, she said in a cold tone that she wanted revenge, and added that, according to her father's teammates, he was trapped by the rival team, and almost died. So he asked if the teammates helped their families after the incidents, and she said that most of the time, they were in the Xingwu continent and couldn't return. But just after the incident, her young sister's sickness flared up, which forced them to borrow money from the loan sharks. Wang Teng was even more shocked knowing she got a little sister, and asked what kind of illness was so serious. She replied that they couldn't figure out the type of illness even after all these years. Then Lin Chuan knocked on the door before going in and saw Lin Chuxia sitting on the bed. But Wang Teng was surprised by the number of balls she had. But Lin Chuan warned him not to get closer to her sister, since she was filled with poisonous miasma. But how could he give up so many balls of this little girl? So he popped her cherry-colored balls which kept fusing with him, giving him poison force, and also gaining him a physique called lotus poison body. Wang Teng was surprised by the potency of the poison level. Then Lin Chuxia asked about him, so Lin Chaohan introduced Wang Teng, while Wang Teng pitied the girl for she couldn't even go out. And after absorbing her balls, he knew that it wasn't an illness but a powerful weapon that she got. But suddenly the girl innocently asked if Wang Teng was their brother-in-law, which made Lin Chuan embarrassed beyond belief. Seeing the situation, Wang Teng smirked and got closer to Chuxia and greeted her. She was a bit surprised that Wang Teng wasn't afraid of her face. So Wang Teng patted her head and said, "Does he look like he was afraid?" She was shocked and asked how he was not affected by the poison. So he made up a lie and said it was because of a special drink that he used to drink in his childhood, which made him a bit immune to poison, and added that she could touch him if she didn't believe. So when Chuxia touched Wang Teng, she felt as though the sticky and gloomy air around her had suddenly disappeared, which gave her hope, thinking maybe Wang Teng could cure her. Seeing Wang Teng really not being affected by the poison, Chu Han also asked if he could help her sister. Wang Teng replied that if he got any solution, he would definitely tell her. Then she hugged her little sister and said that she applied for the martial arts exam, and would definitely become a martial warrior to find a cure for her. But then Chuxia said that Mom would be angry if she knew Chuhan was practicing to become a martial artist. This time, Wang Feng gained a powerful poison talent, which he could mix with his other forces and make it much more lethal. After he had dinner, he left the Lin family, and on his way he saw that his every basic skill reached mastery level except shooting skills. So he went to a shooting range and looked for people that were good at shooting. He pretended to be a fan of some sharpshooter and picked up their balls. There he heard about the guy talking about a legendary skill that could make the bullet change direction mid-flight. The guy also told about a story of a gunmaster who, for some reason, killed his own wife with his skills, and was later locked in a mental hospital in the western suburbs. When Wang Tang heard it, he planned to check out the guy for he might get some good light balls from him. Thus, he infiltrated the mental hospital by knocking out the receptionist, and then hid his body after changing into the clothes of a doctor. On his way, he met a mental patient and saw many spirit attribute balls. He understood that mental patients dropped attributes since spirit is closely linked with mental health. He checked every room and picked up the balls, and finally found out the room of the gunmaster, where he saw many balls floating around. When he got into the room, the gunmaster appraised and praised him for being a martial warrior at such a young age. Wang Teng was surprised for being seen through. However, the man just sought for some cigarettes from Wang Teng, so Wang Teng went back to the office desk and bought some cigarettes. But the man didn't even thank him, and just passed him a memory chip, and told him to leave after turning off the lights. Wang Teng was surprised to see the man giving him the memory chip so easily. But he didn't ponder much and got out. Today he gained another huge benefit as he got 55 spirit balls from the mental hospital. Back in his home, when he opened the memory drive to his computer, loud moans sounded in his room. But just as he was about to close the chip, thinking he had been scammed, he saw his progress bar in his system window improving bit by bit. Thus he kept watching the video, and noticed that it had many knowledge about the gun skill at the end of the video. And after he finished the entire video, he found out that his basic gun skill had changed into martial gun technique. A few days later, Wang Teng was being comforted by his parents, as they told him not to get frustrated if he didn't pass the exam, and said he could take the test next year too. And said that it would be difficult to pass the test, just after a month of practicing martial arts. Wang Teng was a bit hurt, seeing how little they believed him. Nonetheless, he didn't want to tell them about his strength yet. During that day's class, the teacher distributed the exam tokens to the people that were above the intermediate level of martial disciple, and Lin Chuan was the first one to receive it, then followed by Wang Teng. Everyone thought Wang Teng used his rich dad to get a pass too, but Lin Chuan knew it wasn't because he was rich, but because he had skills. Back in home, his parents again reminded him of the dangers of the martial exam, and said since he had little experience in battle, it would be very difficult for him to even survive the test. His mom also told Wang Teng to not risk his life for little power. But Wang Teng assured him that if he can't pass the intermediate martial disciple exam tomorrow, then he wouldn't be able to get in the real martial exam either way. Wang Teng bid his dad and mom goodbye, and again Dad reminded him that safety was the first priority, and he could always retake the exam if he failed. On the way to the bus, he met Lin Chuan, who got on the bus together with him. After they got off the bus, they saw many students from other schools talking about the exam. There were also inspectors that were there to control the students and catch people cheating. Soon they separated, and Wang Teng came by himself to test his strength. He then saw many intermediate martial disciples being kicked out of the exam due to them being too old. At the top floor of inspectors, there was a discussion going on about how many geniuses would be picked this year. The inspectors were dumbfounded after they found out about Wang Teng's shocking result. Of course, he hid his strength quite a lot. Thus for the next few minutes, Wang Teng became a topic for discussion. Even Lin Chuan was surprised despite knowing Wang Teng was strong. But there was one person that didn't like his result, and that was Li Rongcheng. But Wang Teng didn't care, and called his parents and told them the exam results. They were very surprised because they knew Wang Teng had just recently started practicing martial art exam. The duo became happy as they hugged each other and praised Wang Teng. Then the principal came looking for Wang Teng and said that if he could gain the same result in the real martial exam, then he would be rewarded with many things, and said that even the second and third place winners would gain a bottle of elixirs on top of many energy stones. Wang Teng replied that he would try his best to win for the school. They were then taken to a place to stay at night. But someone came to Wang Teng and said that the Minister of Education wanted to meet him. When in the office of the minister, he was told that if he revealed his martial warrior strength, then he would gain the bone of the star beast. The bones of rare star beasts are very expensive, as they could be merged with a weapon which might give the weapon specific characteristics. He then told Wang Teng that being low-key can sometimes backfire as a martial warrior needs a huge amount of resources to become stronger. and getting the attention of higher-ups is the best way to be provided with resources. Wang Teng pondered about what the minister said and took his leave. But before leaving, he said he accepted his deal, and promised him that he would win first place to get the beast boner. The next day they were escorted by an airship that was made by runic technology to the real test ground. In the airship, he found out that the technology of this airship was quite different from typical force cars and vehicles, as it was directly copied by runic technology that came from the Xianwu continent. Thus they were curious, and wanted to see what the Xianwu continent looked like, but they couldn't since they weren't even martial warriors yet. Wang Teng then asked Lin Chuan if she knew anything about the Xianwu continent since her father went in, but she said that her dad didn't say a thing after coming back. After a while of flying, they landed on an island where the officials in charge informed them to collect battle uniforms when their names were called. When Wang Teng's name was called, he showed them his weapon and asked if he could use these weapons after the inspection. The inspector nodded and said he wouldn't be able to use the one-star weapon's power anyway, since he wasn't a martial warrior. Then he asked the inspector if they have any lighter combat suit. The inspector said that they have a lighter set of armor, but the defense is a bit weak. Wang Teng said it was all right and put on the armor. Even Lin Chuan put on a tight-fitting combat suit. But before the group could properly get dressed, they heard a beast roar from the forest, which made everyone scared. Then one of the inspector announced on a hand mic the rules of the exam. They would spend 1 day and 1 night in this primary forest. Food, water, shelter should have to be arranged by the examinees, and they were told that to pass the test, they needed to kill at least 5 mutated beasts. The last score will be calculated by the level of the hunted beasts, and the more beasts one can kill, the more the score will soar, and higher score will let them admit into better martial university. And they were also told that they would be observing them through the combat suits they were wearing, and pressing the alarm button would result in rescue. But it also meant the person would be disqualified. And they were also told that students are prohibited from killing one another, but they could fight and rob people. And lastly, he asked if anyone wanted to quit, and one by one, quite a few people wanted to quit, for they didn't expect the risk of the exam to be so high. Then the exam started as everyone left in a different direction. Wang Teng came across a lizard after not finding any beast for hours. But before he could attack, it slammed its elastic leg at his direction. But Wang Teng was faster, so he dodged. Then it released a red beam of energy toward Wang Teng, but was eventually slashed by Wang Teng and died. Wang Teng was a bit surprised seeing even monsters dropping energy balls. But what surprised him more was the fact that it dropped a blank attribute ball, which was much rarer. Wang Teng finally found a way to harvest blank balls, so he planned to hunt as many beasts as possible. In the monitoring room, the minister was amused watching Wang Teng. After a few hours, a few deaths occurred, and nearly half of the examinees had been eliminated. But the officials ignored it, and were talking about Wang Teng. Many officials from big universities expressed that it would be best for Wang Teng to join their university. But Jixin House said that Wang Teng was already their own member. Wang Teng found himself entangled in a fierce battle with a massive python beast that relentlessly attacked him. Despite the creature's ferocity, Wang Teng skillfully dodged its strikes and ultimately dealt a fatal blow with a single well-aimed strike. This formidable opponent mirrored the high-level muted beast, akin to the giant lizard he had confronted earlier. Although a bit more challenging, Wang Teng managed to handle the situation adeptly. During the encounter, Wang Teng glimpsed the python's face mid-attack. His reflexes allowed him to strike preemptively, anticipating the creature's movements. However, in the midst of this, an arrow whizzed past Wang Teng, narrowly missing him and embedding itself into a nearby tree. Following the trajectory, Wang Teng discovered a young boy attempting to attack him with arrows. In one swift motion, Wang Teng broke the archer's bow with a single strike. As Wang Teng continued to subdue his assailant with punches, he noticed the young archer repeatedly calling for someone. Initially puzzled, Wang Teng soon realized that someone was responding to the calls. One of the attackers, Li Rongcheng, condemned Wang Teng's ruthless behavior, questioning how he could be so harsh, even as an examinee. Li Rongcheng disclosed that he, along with another, had attacked Wang Teng from behind. Unfazed, Wang Teng confidently asserted that he had defeated Li Rongcheng multiple times in the past, prompting Li Rongcheng's desperate attempt to silence him permanently in the martial arts exam. Challenging Li Rongcheng, Wang Teng questioned the origin of the 2 other attackers and their motivations. Infuriated by the inquiry, Li Rongcheng impulsively attacked Wang Teng again. However, Wang Teng effortlessly defeated all 3 adversaries with powerful strikes. Li Rongcheng, who had funded the 2 attackers, was astonished to witness their quick defeat. Subsequently, a new opponent wielding a massive hammer emerged, attempting to strike Wang Teng. Wang Teng's punch shattered the hammer into pieces. As the skirmish unfolded, Li Rongcheng grew increasingly agitated. Another attacker, wielding a hammer, attempted a surprise attack from behind. Wang Teng, anticipating the move, delivered a decisive punch, thwarting the assault. Wang Teng observed that the fallen attacker possessed low-quality attributes but noticed valuable weapon-type skills. He proceeded to defeat them systematically to acquire their attributes. Wang Teng's merciless actions alarmed Li Rongcheng's two associates, prompting them to plead for mercy. Despite their pleas, Wang Teng continued to unleash a relentless assault until all their attributes were laid bare. Just as the opponents seemed defeated, one of them urgently sought assistance from a device. Acknowledging the plea, Wang Teng chose to leave the scene, concluding the intense confrontation. On a rainy night, Wang Teng ventured out in search of beasts, taking advantage of the darkness to confront nocturnal creatures. He skillfully dispatched wolves that crossed his path. However, his focus shifted when he noticed the ground beneath him cracking. The realization dawned upon him that an earthquake was underway, caused by a volcano continuously spewing fire and emitting ominous sounds. Simultaneously, elsewhere in the forest, Lin Chuan found herself in a state of panic and began running for her life. The bewildering events left everyone clueless about the unfolding chaos. At the control room, an atmosphere of tension prevailed as the team discovered the presence of an active volcano on the island. Unusual movements inside the volcano triggered the earthquake. Upon learning about the volcanic activity, an official declared an immediate evacuation and ordered a thorough investigation to prioritize the safety of the examinees. An urgent email notification was sent to all candidates, instructing them to return to the examination center. The students, alarmed by the news of an imminent volcanic eruption, hurried back to the designated center. Meanwhile, a team of professionals was assembled to investigate the peculiar occurrences inside the volcano. As the candidates rushed back to the center, preparing for the impending disaster, the investigative team geared up for their mission. Suddenly, without warning, the volcano erupted, intensifying the urgency and heightening the stakes for everyone involved. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, Wang Teng decided to make his way back to the center. The uncertainty of whether the volcano was about to erupt, or if there was another phenomenon occurring inside, left Wang Teng in a state of confusion. Simultaneously, his concern for Lin Chuan added to the tension he felt. Suddenly, Wang Teng noticed three formidable warriors moving towards the volcano. Recognizing them as muscle warriors responsible for the protection of the examinees, Wang Teng inferred that they were heading to assess the situation. Driven by curiosity and a desire to understand the unfolding events, Wang Teng decided to follow the warriors. As they reached the volcano site, the three martial warriors prepared to investigate the situation. Concealed behind a tree, Wang Teng observed the scene, marveling at the destructive power and being captivated by the impressive attributes displayed by the warriors. Intrigued by the sight, Wang Teng contemplated the potential treasures hidden within the volcano. The thought of acquiring valuable items fueled his curiosity. However, as the group moved closer to the entrance of the volcano, Wang Teng hesitated, weighing the risks and uncertainties associated with entering the volatile mountain. Overwhelmed by the potential danger of the erupting volcano, Wang Teng was on the verge of deciding to retreat. However, in a moment of serendipity, he accidentally stepped on an ID card. To his amazement, it belonged to Lin Chuan. Realizing that Lin Chuan had been there recently, Wang Teng initially assumed that she must have heard the evacuation announcement and left in haste, dropping her ID card in the process. Despite this assumption, a nagging suspicion lingered in Wang Teng's mind that, what if Lin Chuan hadn't heard the announcement and had ventured into the volcano mountain? Without a second thought, Wang Teng swiftly made his way towards the mountain, driven by the urgency to ensure Lin Chuan's safety. Inside the volcano, Wang Teng found himself surrounded by fire forces and lava, trapped in a perilous situation. Recognizing the dire circumstances, Wang Teng pressed forward, navigating through the escalating temperatures. As he delved deeper into the cave, he discovered a significant accumulation of fire force causing the rising temperatures. Amidst the hazardous environment, Wang Teng heard the howl of a muted beast. This revelation alerted him to the presence of dangerous creatures within the cave, posing a threat to Lin Chuan. Angered by the unexpected turn of events during the examination, Wang Teng questioned the circumstances that allowed such incidents to occur. As he ventured further, Wang Teng uncovered the existence of two star beasts guarding a power source within the cave. The unfolding situation intensified his determination to rescue Lin Chuan and navigate the challenges posed by the volatile conditions inside the volcano. The star beasts proved to be both harmful and ruthless, prompting Wang Teng to fear for Lin Chuan's safety. He worried that she might have fallen victim to these star beasts' ferocity. As Wang Teng navigated deeper into the cave, he began to suspect that Lin Chuan might not have entered the cave at all, leaving him in a precarious situation. Suddenly, a commanding voice broke through the chaos, instructing Wang Teng to step aside. It was none other than a fire marshal warrior, prepared to confront the menacing star beasts. The heat inside the cave was overwhelming, taking a toll on the health of all the martial warriors. Gasping for breath, they faced the relentless attacks from the star beasts, whose roars echoed in the scorching environment. Wang Teng was taken aback as he witnessed the martial warriors struggling to withstand the onslaught. Despite their valiant efforts, the star beasts' continuous fire attacks were proving to be overwhelming. The warriors' health deteriorated rapidly, and Wang Teng, driven by a hint of greed, contemplated the prospect of collecting the dropped fire attributes. The star beasts, fueled by the intense heat, relentlessly threw fire attacks at the martial warriors. One warrior managed to withstand the onslaught for a brief period, holding the beasts at bay. However, the increasing heat and strength of the star beasts eventually overpowered him, hurling him miles away. Another martial warrior attempted to counterattack with swift slashes, but she too succumbed to the ferocity of the star beasts' relentless fire assaults, being thrown back with force. Meanwhile, the water martial warrior formed a water blockade, urging the other warriors to retreat as facing the two formidable volcano beasts proved exceedingly challenging. Unfortunately, the path of retreat was blocked by the relentless star beasts. Recognizing the dire situation, Wang Teng understood that the two star beasts posed a severe threat to the martial warriors' lives within the volcano mountain. Uncertain of how to proceed, the martial warriors decided on a desperate plan: to fight the star beasts until their last breath. The attacks from the star beasts intensified, becoming more lethal and dangerous with each passing moment. Despite the perilous circumstances, the warriors valiantly defended themselves. Wang Teng, assessing the grim scenario, realized that their chances of safely leaving the area were slim, and the possibility of their demise loomed. However, he couldn't bear to witness his fellow warriors succumb to the relentless assaults. The fire martial warrior reached his limits, unable to continue the fight. Suddenly, a cry emanated from one of the star beasts, causing them to cease their attacks. The warriors believed that a reinforcement team had arrived to save them. Unbeknownst to them, Lin Chuan had stealthily approached from behind and initiated a surprise attack on the star beasts. Wang Teng took charge against one star beast, instructing the remaining three martial warriors to join forces against the other. Coordinating their efforts, the warriors unleashed a flurry of attacks on the star beasts. Wang Teng, with a powerful smash, successfully subdued one of the star beasts. The tide of the battle began to turn, giving the martial warriors a glimmer of hope in the face of adversity. The three martial warriors, aware of the imminent eruption of the volcano, swiftly devised a plan to dispatch the star beasts and escape. Utilizing their skills and intelligence, they maneuvered one star beast to a corner of the land, strategically dividing the ground into two parts. They then allowed the star beast and the separated land to sink into the molten lava of the volcano. Surprised by the swift victory, the martial warriors noticed another individual, who had arrived to aid them. Clad in a uniform, he resembled an examinee, and they were relieved to see someone familiar. Wang, though facing difficulties handling the remaining star beast alone, successfully subdued it. Wang Teng, content with the attributes gained from the battle, including wood and water elements, now possessing a total of 6 different elements, considered it a worthwhile endeavor. One of the water martial warriors expressed disbelief at the accomplishment, questioning if Wang Teng had truly slain the star beast. Wang Teng, nonchalant about their skepticism, inquired about Lin Chuan. Speculating that she might not have even reached the location, Wang Teng informed the martial warriors that, in his opinion, there might not be a volcanic eruption, attributing the turmoil to the mistake of the star beasts. Expressing his desire to leave, Wang Teng was halted by the martial warriors, who informed him that, as per their rules, the slain star beast belonged to him. Wang Teng, pleasantly surprised, accepted the acknowledgement. However, as he examined the star beast for attributes, he discovered a star code embedded in its body, leaving the martial warriors astonished by the unexpected development. The martial warriors couldn't fathom Wang Teng's luck in obtaining a star code on his first attempt, especially considering their own experience of not having found a single star code despite encountering numerous star beasts. Wang Teng, with a touch of humor, playfully suggested that his charm might be the secret behind his luck, eliciting laughter from the others. Their conversation was interrupted when the governor and a team arrived at the scene for investigation and assistance. Wang Teng, awestruck by the governor's imposing personality and aura, was approached by the official, who expressed admiration for Wang Teng's performance in the actual combat assessment. Pleased by the compliment, Wang Teng felt a sense of accomplishment. The governor, recognizing the martial warriors' efforts, declared that their actions had prevented the eruption of the volcano, praising their bravery. The martial warriors, overwhelmed with a sense of achievement, were caught off guard when 2 star beasts approached the governor. The creatures conveyed that the examinees had been safely evacuated to a secure location, but the casualties were high. Concerned about the number of casualties, The governor inquired with one of the water martial warriors, who revealed that she had managed to eliminate one of the star beasts. However, the other had been taken down by Wang Teng. The revelation highlighted Wang Teng's significant role in averting a potential disaster, earning him recognition and respect from both the martial warriors and the governor. The water martial warrior emphatically stressed that without Wang Teng's assistance, they would not have accomplished their mission. Her words were met with skepticism from the staff members, who found it hard to believe that a young examinee had single-handedly defeated a star beast. Despite facing doubts, the martial warrior remained confident and suggested that they could verify her claim by examining the star beast, as the force used by Wang Teng differed from their usual methods. Upon inspection, the staff members confirmed that the force used to defeat the star beast was indeed ice force, an unexpected and unique attribute. This revelation left everyone shocked, and Wang Teng wondered if there was any issue with this type of force, or if it was considered a valuable attribute. The governor, delighted by the unexpected discovery, expressed his joy at finding such a talented individual during the actual combat assessment. Acknowledging Wang Teng's remarkable abilities, the governor extended an offer for him to join their martial house, promising to provide everything he needed for his development. However, before Wang Teng could respond, the owner of another martial house intervened angrily, claiming that he had already selected Wang Teng as his disciple. The staff of the governor swiftly removed the interrupting individual, and the governor instructed everyone to follow him down the mountain, concluding the unexpected turn of events. During the night's campfire, Wang Teng noticed Lin Chuan looking confused and realized she had lost her identity card. Surprised by her unawareness, Wang Teng handed her the lost ID card. Curious about why Lin Chuan was at the top of the volcano, Wang Teng expressed concern about the danger. However, Lin Chuan explained that she found it to be a safe hiding spot, as there were no muted beasts around. Wang Teng, astonished, questioned if Lin Chuan had managed to kill 5 muted beasts. Lin Chuan, feeling a bit upset at the doubt, explained that she utilized the skills she had learned in the 5 years of martial arts examination and 3 additional years of training. Additionally, she applied her knowledge of herbal medicine to craft poison for the muted beasts. Later, reflecting on the day's events, Wang Teng, Lin Chuan, and Yuajian sat in the tent, discussing the unfortunate accident during the martial arts exam. They pondered whether the results would still be valid, given the unexpected turn of events, expressing a sense of uncertainty about the outcome. Wang Teng offered his perspective, suggesting that the appearance of the beasts should not significantly impact the results unless there was an announcement to end the exam. In his view, the impact on the students' grades would likely be minimal, and he reminded everyone of the true purpose of the actual combat assessment, to assess the abilities of the examinees during unexpected events. According to Wang Teng, even if the examinees managed to kill at least 5 muted beasts, there should still be a chance to pass the examination. Yuajian was pleased to hear this, as he had saved an examinee during the combat, earning praise from the martial house's principal. However, the mood shifted when an announcement called everyone to gather in an open area. The students were surprised to see the governor personally present. As the governor began to address the crowd, students started expressing their concerns about the beast tide and how it might affect their exam results. The governor silenced the crowd and announced that the accident had occurred due to negligence, vowing to compensate the families of the examinees who had lost their lives in the incident. The unexpected turn of events left the students in shock as they grappled with the consequences of the tragedy during the martial arts examination. The governor, in his address, reminded the students that the world of martial warriors was far more challenging and brutal than they might have perceived. He emphasized the cruelty and bloodiness of their reality, cautioning the students that the path ahead would be 1,000 times more difficult. Despite the seemingly glamorous image of martial warriors' power, the governor added that the martial world was harsh. He informed the students that performance during the beast tide would be calculated in the overall result, and those who excelled would be rewarded with extra points. With this, he officially declared the end of the actual combat assessment, and preparations were made for the return to the city. As the 3 of them were heading back on the plane, Yuajian received praise for killing 13 beasts. However, he felt annoyed by the acknowledgement, labeling them as mere braggarts. Turning to Wang Teng, Yuajian urged him to share his achievements, confident that they would surpass everyone, including the class president Lin Chuan. He believed Lin Chuan would be pleased if Wang Teng's achievements outshone theirs. Wang Teng, in a calm manner, revealed that he had killed a total of 29 beasts, including 19 high-level beasts and 10 world-level muted beasts. This revelation left everyone astonished, with Lin Chuan expressing disbelief and questioning if Wang Teng was exaggerating. Wang Teng responded by acknowledging that no matter how much truth he spoke, there would always be people who wouldn't believe him. Lin Chuan, still in shock, couldn't fathom the extent of Wang Tang's strength, realizing that he had achieved a remarkable feat during the martial arts examination. In Wang Tang's mind, he hadn't revealed that he had killed the explorers during the combat assessment. However, Yan Peng, a boy in their group, made a skeptical face, and with a cunning smile, accused Wang Tang of being the #1 bragger in high school. According to him, Wang Tang's statements were full of falsehood, particularly his claim of killing 29 muted beasts. He urged the others to pretend they hadn't heard anything. Yan Peng chimed in, expressing that he had heard a lot about Wang Tang and was initially interested in a duel. However, based on Wang Tang's nonchalant talk, he now doubted the credibility of the stories he had heard. As they exited the plane, Wang Tang was cautioned by Yan Peng, who emphasized that they represented the #1 high school, and advised Wang Tang to think twice before making extravagant claims. Lin Chuan, infuriated by Yan Peng's comments, stood up and accused him of going too far, demanding an apology. Yan Peng, trying to defuse the situation, claimed that Lin Chuan had misunderstood him and that he was only speaking from the perspective of the school. Taking advantage of the moment, Yan Peng approached Lin Chuan, introducing himself as a student from Xavier High School and an advanced stage martial disciple. He requested to exchange WeChat accounts to get to know each other better, seizing the opportunity to potentially build a connection with her. Suddenly, Wang Tang interrupted the discussion, apologizing for the interruption, and with a cunning smile, he stood up, revealing his red eyes to showcase his strength. Yan Peng was visibly perplexed, struggling to comprehend how Wang Tang could be so powerful. Undeterred, Wang Tang maintained his aggressive stance, challenging Yan Peng to a duel and questioning how he gained the confidence to challenge him. As Wang Tang continued to exude an intimidating aura, he questioned Yan Peng's worthiness of having a WeChat exchange with the class president. Yan Peng, sensing the tension, suggested resolving the matter through discussion. However, Wang Tang was not interested in talking and delivered a powerful kick, causing Yan Peng to collide with a seat on the plane. Yan Peng was both confused and frightened, assuming that Wang Tang might even kill him in that moment. Notably, the boy who had been laughing moments ago when Yan Peng mocked Wang Tang was now trying to hide, realizing the seriousness of the situation. Wang Tang, with a cunning smile, approached him and delivered a strong punch, prompting him to leave the area. Throughout this episode, Wang Tang's threatening demeanor had spread throughout the entire airplane, instilling fear in all the students present. They understood that offending Wang Tang in the future was something they couldn't afford, given his formidable strength. Upon reaching the city after the trip, Wang Tang headed straight home. While walking on the street, he contemplated exploring how the Star Boy actually worked. Upon entering his house, he discovered that no one was home except for his maid, Aunt Chen. Wang Tang, upon inquiring about his mom from Aunt Chen, learned that she had gone out early in the morning, and something seemed to have happened in the company. Aunt Chen was not aware of the details as Wang Tang's mom hadn't shared them. Concerned about his father, Mr. Wang Shengguo, who hadn't returned from his last business trip, Wang Tang rushed to the company assuming that something significant had occurred. Upon reaching the office, Wang Tang inquired about his mother at the reception. The receptionist, unfamiliar with Mrs. Li Xiumei, made inappropriate comments, and Wang Tang believed she had little knowledge of the chairman's wife. Fortunately, an old watchman, who had worked at the company for a long time and knew Wang Tang, approached him. Wang Tang was relieved to see someone familiar and asked the watchman about his mother. Mansun, the watchman, informed Wang Tang that Mrs. Li Xiumei was in the meeting room. He mentioned that boss Bao Qingze from a competitive company had arrived with a group of people, and there were suspicions that the deputy general manager from their company was planning to switch jobs. Wang Tang remembered Bao Qingze as the person who took over his father's company after the family's downfall in his first life. Annoyed by the encounter, Wang Tang moved towards the meeting room, determined to settle old and new grudges with Bao Qingze once and for all. Mansun also informed Wang Tang that Bao Qingze had brought many people with him, prompting Wang Tang to call security guards for support. Upon reaching the 8th floor, Wang Tang found the guards ready with their equipment. Despite lacking much education, they were described as daring, hardworking, and loyal to the company. Wang Tang, impressed by their confidence, ordered them to follow him to the conference room. Upon entering the conference room, they heard a heated argument among the board members. It became evident that their general manager had collaborated with Bao Qingze, the owner of a rival company, and was persuading Wang Tang's mother to sell the company to him. Wang Tang, along with the director of the security department, expressed shock at this unexpected betrayal. Interrupting the tense situation, Wang Tang knocked on the door and entered the room. Li Xiumei, Wang Tang's mother, seemed surprised to see him. Wang Tang informed her that he had heard about the issues in the office through Aunt Chen, and had decided to intervene. Bao Qingze, responding with sarcasm, suggested that it was an adult matter and advised Wang Teng to leave the room. The confrontation in the conference room unfolded, revealing the complex dynamics within the company. Ignoring Bao Qingze's arrogant comments, Wang Teng requested his mother to sit down and not take any stress. He observed that his cousin Dan Taixuan was also present, as their grandpa had heard about uncle's absence and the arising problem. Dan Taixuan had been instructed to investigate and assist Li Xiumei. Bao Qingze, displaying arrogance, commented on Wang Teng's lack of respect for elders and insisted that they were in an important meeting. He suggested that if Wang Teng had nothing relevant to discuss, he should leave the room. Ignoring this, Wang Teng continued to talk with his mother, infuriating Bao Qingze even more. Wang Teng, expressing his frustration, forcefully placed his bag on the desk. He argued that, as the son of the company owner, he had every right to be there. This angered Bao Qingze further, and he insinuated that Wang Teng's family had failed in teaching him manners. The deputy manager joined in, stating that if Mr. Wang Shengguo couldn't educate Wang Teng properly, Bao Qingze would take it upon himself to teach Wang Teng some etiquette. This indirect threat didn't sit well with one of the company's honest employees, who shouted at Bao Qingze for attempting to take over the company in Mr. Wang Shengguo's absence and insulting both Mr. Wang Shengguo and his son. Wang Teng reassured his mother not to worry, asserting that he would handle the situation. The tension in the meeting room continued to rise as the power dynamics and loyalty within the company became evident. Bao Qingze ordered one of his men to attack on Wang Teng, but Wang Teng with one powerful punch was able to defeat him. Wang Teng then, frustrated by Bao Qingze's deceit, confirmed that the building in front of them belonged to Bao Qingze. With a powerful display of his martial arts skills, Wang Teng unleashed a destructive force on the building, causing significant damage. The shock and disbelief among everyone, including his mother, were palpable. This sudden demonstration revealed Wang Teng's true abilities, dispelling doubts about his strength. Wang Teng, with a stern expression, issued a threat to Bao Qingze, warning him against playing such tricks again. He made it clear that the next strike wouldn't be on the building but on Bao Qingze himself, questioning whether he could withstand such an attack. Addressing the employees who had been gossiping about the company, Wang Teng asserted his authority. He warned them to stop their negative discussions and behave like proper employees until his father returned. Once Mr. Wang Shengguo returned, they were free to leave the company. The manager, realizing that his hopes of getting promised shares from Bao Qingze had vanished, was angry and regretful. However, Wang Teng's mother and sister were relieved and happy. Taixuan expressed confidence that with Wang Teng's support, their family would not face any challenges from other companies, ensuring their stability. Wang Teng instructed his mother and sister to leave the place. Upon returning home, Wang Teng questioned why Mr. Wang Shengguo had not yet returned from his business trip. Li Xiumei explained that Mr. Wang Shengguo had gone to a neighboring province to discuss a project, but there were issues with the interests of both sides, making it challenging to reach an agreement. The family remained in anticipation of Mr. Wang Shengguo's return and the resolution of the business matters. Wang Teng, learning about the situation with his father, discovered that the other party had resorted to kidnapping and extortion. The gang had threatened Mr. Wang Shengguo, demanding that he sign a contract with them. Wang Teng expressed concern about his father's safety, emphasizing the importance of life over business. Li Xiumei explained that the situation was complicated, and Mr. Wang Shengguo might have perceived potential risks in the project. Wang Teng, suspecting foul play, considered the possibility that those who had deceived his family in his previous life were making their move early in his current life. Determined to investigate the matter himself, Wang Teng instructed Li Xiumei to return home, assuring her that he would be fine. Taixuan offered to accompany him, suggesting that it would be more convenient to contact the person sent by their grandpa and gather information before taking any action. Upon reaching the neighboring province, Taixuan informed Wang Teng about an upcoming meeting. She suggested meeting the individuals recommended by their grandpa to gather information on the current situation. However, the manager conveyed that negotiations with the gangsters were proving difficult, as they seemed unwilling to release Mr. Wang Shengguo. Wang Teng, in his car, listened to the situation. He gathered information about the other party, learning that they were involved in various industries and held significant power in the area. Knowing that they had advanced stage martial disciples among them, Wang Teng realized that the situation was complex. Deciding to confront the gangsters alone, Wang Teng assured Taixuan and the manager that he would handle the situation. Taixuan, shocked by Wang Teng's decision, suggested paying the ransom and observing the outcome. However, Wang Teng, confident in his abilities, proceeded to the location where the gangsters were operating. As he arrived and knocked on the door, the situation remained tense, with uncertainty about how the confrontation would unfold. In the shadows of the night, Wang Teng approached the entrance of a seemingly private establishment. A guard questioned the person's identity, and Wang Teng, assuming a guise of a delivery man, attempted to deceive them. The guard, unyielding, demanded to know the purpose behind Wang Teng's presence, as it was late at night, and his intentions seemed dubious. Wang Teng, quick on his feet, explained that his boss had instructed him to deliver matchsticks urgently, cryptically signaling a hidden message. Despite initial resistance, the guard reluctantly led Wang Teng inside, cautioning him not to disclose the encounter. Upon reaching a room, Wang Teng faced the boss and was challenged about his strength. Wang Teng, without hesitation, demonstrated his prowess by effortlessly smashing the door open. The boss, intrigued by Wang Teng's abilities, questioned his audacity to infiltrate the territory of the Iron Fist clan. The guards, initially hostile, now directed their anger towards the boss for letting an unknown person enter. Wang Teng, unaware of the boss's formidable martial arts skills, found himself in a tense situation. The boss acknowledged Wang Teng's strength and potential, but questioned his decision to enter the perilous domain. In response, Wang Teng inquired about the presence of his comrades, to which the boss revealed that there were more than enough to crush him into dust. The boss, seemingly impressed by Wang Teng's audacity, declared his intent to fulfill Wang Teng's desires, a statement laden with ominous undertones. Wang Teng, fueled by anger, faced the boss's furious sword attacks. In a powerful display of his own strength, Wang Teng unleashed a devastating fire energy attack, incapacitating all the guards at once. The boss, witnessing Wang Teng's martial prowess, was left shocked. Seizing the opportunity, Wang Teng questioned the purpose of their presence and ordered everyone to leave immediately, emphasizing the importance of prioritizing life over reputation in such a perilous situation. The boss, realizing the futility of resistance against Wang Teng, instructed his subordinates to retreat swiftly. As the boss attempted to escape, Wang Teng delivered a powerful strike using a unique element, causing significant damage. Wang Teng demanded to know who had ordered the kidnapping of Mr. Wang Shengguo. The boss, fearing for his life, admitted that the directive came from a martial warrior in the capital, Xia. However, he pleaded for mercy, explaining that he had no choice but to follow the orders. Wang Teng, guided by his principles, showed no mercy and swiftly turned the boss into ashes, making a bold statement against those who threatened his family. The remaining guards, terrified by Wang Teng's display of power, fled the scene, spreading the word that Wang Teng was a formidable force capable of dealing death without hesitation. Meanwhile, Mr. Wang Shengguo, tied to a chair, pondered the reason behind his kidnapping. Confused, and without any apparent grievances, he wondered if this was an attempt to harm the entire Wang family. Suddenly, Wang Shengguo heard Wang Teng's voice questioning why he was sitting comfortably there while his mother awaited them for dinner. Wang Teng urged his father to stand up, but Wang Shengguo's legs were numb, and he was about to fall. Wang Teng caught him and joked about his legs being out of shape, even before reaching the age of 50. Wang Shengguo, frustrated, complained that he had been working for too long, resulting in his legs losing their stamina. As they walked back, Wang Shengguo questioned Wang Teng about the demands made and if he had agreed to any unreasonable requests. He warned Wang Teng not to sign any documents without careful consideration, fearing that it might be a trap. Wang Teng assured his father that he hadn't fallen for any tricks and had handled the situation intelligently. Wang Shengguo acknowledged that he trusted Wang Teng's judgment. Wang Teng, however, remembered the bloodshed and considered himself fortunate that he had cleaned the area before Wang Shengguo arrived. He didn't want his father to know about the violent confrontation that had taken place. As Taixuan bid them farewell, expressing relief that Wang Shengguo was safe, she advised Wang Teng to visit the old mansion and spend time with his other siblings. Wang Shengguo, puzzled by Taixuan's sudden change in behavior, questioned what had transpired to bring about such a shift in her attitude towards Wang Teng. On the other hand, Li Shumei eagerly awaited the arrival of her son and husband. Upon their arrival, she tightly hugged Wang Shengguo, expressing relief and worry for him. Witnessing his parents' display of affection, Wang Teng felt awkward and suggested they be more aware of their surroundings, causing both his parents to playfully scold him. As they gathered around the dining table, Li Shumei informed Wang Shengguo that Wang Teng had already become a martial warrior, surprising him. Wang Teng demonstrated his fire element abilities to his father, who questioned how he achieved this level so quickly, without regular martial arts practice. Wang Teng jokingly mentioned an old man who recognized his talent and imparted some incredible skills to him, making everyone laugh. When Wang Teng shared the story of what happened in the office a few days ago, Wang Shengguo became angry. He was upset with Bao Qingze for humiliating his wife and son, and for attempting to undermine the company in his absence. Wang Shengguo also expressed anger toward the employees who tried to deceive the company. However, Li Xiumei urged him to let go of the anger, stating that Wang Tang had already taught them a lesson they wouldn't forget. She saw the incident as a beneficial one, helping them identify loyal employees and remove the incompetent ones, bringing in fresh talent. Wang Shengguo eventually agreed, acknowledging the positive outcomes of the incident. Suddenly, Wang Shengguo inquired about the release of Wang Tang's martial arts examination scores. Upon confirmation that the scores were indeed out, they all proceeded towards the room to check them. Wang Tang, curious about his parents' anxious expressions, questioned why they seemed on edge. His parents sternly asked him to stop talking nonsense and focus on checking the scores. Upon reaching the room, they discovered that Wang Tang had achieved an A+ result. However, his father expressed doubt, questioning if it was genuinely his son's result or if there had been a mix-up. Annoyed, he mumbled about whether Wang Tang was even Wang Shengguo's biological son. Wang Tang defended himself, suggesting he could have done a little better, but his father remained unconvinced. Trying to explain, his father noted the significance of being the first in line when it comes to announcing results. Wang Tang, interrupting, received a call from the class president. On the other end of the line was Lin Chuan, inquiring about Wang Tang's test results. She shared her joy at passing with an 80-point margin in the actual comeback assessment. Wang Tang, thrilled for her, asked about her grades in other subjects. Suspecting foul play due to her excellent performance, Wang Tang questioned whether she had cheated. However, Lin Chuan revealed that she excelled in all subjects, providing detailed scores one by one. Wang Tang, surprised by her success, also shared his own achievements, stating that he secured full marks in the actual comeback assessment, plus an extra 20 marks. After exchanging information, they hung up. Soon after, Wang Tang realized that his parents were discussing the call with a smile. Expecting questions about Lin Chuan being his girlfriend, Wang Tang explained with a bashful face that they were best friends with a strong platonic relationship. He assured them that he was only waiting for an SMS from Lin Chuan. His face turned blush as his mother mentioned cooking delicious food the next time he called her. Suddenly, they noticed the arrival of the principal at their home, inquiring about the reason. They learned that Wang Tang had emerged as the top scorer in the martial arts exam from their school, prompting the visit to congratulate him. Wang Tang's mother was shocked to hear that her son was the top scorer, and the principal asked Wang Tang to share his college preferences without any hesitation. The principal also reminded him about the previously mentioned reward. Recalling the reward, the principal explained that he had heard of Wang Tang as an ice element martial warrior. He specifically asked someone to find 10 ice element yellow rank energy stones for him. The stones were handed over to Wang Tang for his cultivation. The package included an ice spiritual dance and familiarity with the black stone, also known as the dark eyes stone, which could be used for weapons, perfectly suiting his element. Wang Tang, examining the treasures, was amazed at their size. The principal added that the reward had been delivered, assuring that they would not disturb him further, and took their leave. Suddenly, his classmate arrived. Rushing towards him, they handed Wang Tang a booklet containing terms and conditions. Wang Tang invited them inside before discussing matters further. It was revealed that Wang Tang's friends had come to bring forms for joining a martial arts school. Wang Tang inquired about potential issues with enrolling in a martial arts school, and questioned whether joining an academy would pose any problems. His friends clarified that there would be no issues, as many strong warriors in their martial arts schools came from different academies and military academies. Wang Tang then asked which martial arts school he should enroll in. Wang Tang took some time to contemplate, and finally decided to enroll in Jixian Martial Hall. One of his friends was overjoyed by this decision. However, when the other colleagues read the contract Wang Tang had signed, they were shocked. Wang Tang had chosen an SSS class contract, leaving them astonished. They questioned if he was out of his mind, highlighting that those who had secured such a contract had already reached world rankings. The other two friends were saddened, as they couldn't afford to compete with Wang Tang. They could only sit and watch, feeling regretful for not being able to recruit a genius to their martial training school. Wang Tang's friend handed him a password band, explaining that after wearing it, he could connect to Jixian Martial School and purchase resources. The contract stated that $1 billion would be wired in installments. They also suggested that he could buy a house in the family area of the martial arts school, ensuring the safety of his business and family members. Wang Tang was confident that moving there would secure his parents' safety. Thinking about which academy to apply to, Wang Tang's friends suggested that the first few major academies were similar. But the military academy was also a good choice. Wang Tang agreed, noting that excelling in the military would be the fastest way to gain power. The friend emphasized that there were chances of leading a powerful army, especially in foreign lands. He informed Wang Teng about the ongoing recruitment for a major army force and the particular need for new candidates. Upon hearing about foreign lands, Wang Teng felt a bit furious. The classmate assured him that after applying to the academy, there would still be a month left before he joined. During this time, he would look for a squad of warriors in the martial arts school to assist Wang Teng in his training and cultivation. On the other hand, someone informed a martial warrior about the news that the Iron Fist clan's plan had been eradicated, and the surviving gang members were burned down. The martial warrior was shocked. The informant conveyed that he personally went to the site and witnessed everyone shot dead in one move. Even the high-ranking advanced martial warriors were not exempt, and the boss of Iron Fist clan was nowhere to be found. The scene only had a black mark, indicating that he had been killed by a fire element master warrior, which intrigued martial warrior. Frustrated with dealing with such matters, martial warrior instructed his assistant to head back to capital Xia. He decided to let someone else handle the aftermath of the situation. When the assistant prompted him to act with an angelic face, martial warrior reiterated that he was tired and wanted to go back to capital Xia. Meanwhile, as Wang Teng arrived at the academy, he was shocked to receive a special postal invitation and found a crowd gathered to see him. Excited, Wang Teng decided to pick up the challenge and engage in a duel with all of them to test his strength. Checking his perception points, he realized that exceeding 100 points would promote him to the spiritual realm. The understanding of skills in Wang Teng's mind seemed to strengthen, and spiritual attributes were about to break through to reach 200 points. Suddenly, Wang Teng heard a girl's voice requesting the guard to meet him. Initially resistant, the guard relented when he discovered that she was none other than Lin Chuan's sister Chuxia. Wang Teng called her over, and she seemed happy. Apologizing for not allowing her earlier, the guard explained. Chuxia informed Wang Teng that she felt uncomfortable due to the thickened air and wanted to meet him. Wang Teng, realizing he could help by collecting Demon Lotus poison body boys from Chuxia, made her feel comfortable. Wang Teng then asked Chuxia if Lin Chuan knew about her visit. She admitted that Lin Chuan didn't, and Wang Teng suggested she talk to his assistant first to avoid worrying Lin Chuan and her mother. As Chuxia made the call, Lin Chuan was furious, screaming at her sister for causing worry and ordering her to come back quickly. Chuxia then confessed that she finally came out once and didn't want to go back so early. Lin Chuan noticed her deteriorating physical condition and expressed concern. Wang Teng assured her that he would take care of Chuxia and asked her not to worry. He suggested Chuxia come to his house for dinner first, and then they could go to a fun place in the evening. While they were leaving, Chuxia asked Wang Teng about the item he was holding in his hand. Wang Teng informed her that it was a bronze broad, a super strong wine for his friend. In a room, they encountered an old man with gray hair sitting on a bed. Wang Teng surprised him with the wine, making the old man happy, and they started drinking. Chuxia inquired about the old man, asking if he was some kind of hidden master. Wang Teng confirmed, saying she could say that. The old man called them over and revealed that he had something for both of them. He passed a USB to Chuxia, saying it contained what she wanted, and handed a map, stating that if they wanted his precious properties, they should follow it. Wang Teng thought it was a prank, but Chuxia took it seriously. As they left, Chuxia observed the map, and Wang Teng ordered her to throw it away. However, Chuxia insisted it was a real map. Wang Teng, intrigued, asked her to show it. When he realized it was upside down, he playfully scolded her. Wang Teng treated Chuxia to ice cream and said he would discuss the map after researching it. She happily agreed. Later, they met Lin Chuan, who scolded Chuxia for having the courage to run away from home. Chuxia clarified that she went out for a walk. Lin Chuan questioned Wang Teng about taking Chuxia out so late and if something had happened to her. Wang Teng tried to reassure Lin Chuan and suggested letting Chuxia go out more. As they left, Lin Chuan caught Chuxia's cheeks, commenting on her newfound boldness. When they returned, Lin Chuan asked Chuxia again if she had really gone. When Wang Teng reached home and checked his status, he discovered that his spiritual attribute had reached the dispersion realm. Excited about his new power, Wang Teng decided to test it by attempting to control water through his spiritual energy. To his amazement, he was able to pull water from a glass and throw it on the wall, damaging it. Wang Teng contemplated the potential of his newfound ability, wondering how powerful it would be if he used it to compress and release force. Determined to explore the limits of his power, he focused in the forest, successfully controlling a sword without touching it and making it float. Inspired, he decided to try flying on the sword and realized that he had encountered a truly great power. The next day, Wang Teng felt a headache as he had spent all his energy the previous night. Suddenly, a teacher intervened and informed Wang Teng that a few important recruiting teachers from several universities had personally come and wanted to talk with him. The teacher expressed surprise that a great martial art champion was in their class, and he took Wang Teng to the waiting area where all the teachers were. Wang Teng was delighted to see them, and suddenly, all the recruiting teachers from different universities jumped on him, expressing their desire to recruit him. They mentioned that the top 5 universities had come to hire him. One by one, they pitched Wang Teng, and 3-star warriors came forward, creating pressure for him. One recruiter even stamped on the table, emphasizing that the military academy was the place for Wang Teng to showcase his talent. They promised military ranks and entry into another world to fight with soldiers. The recruiter added that Wang Teng would be immediately awarded the rank of sergeant upon entering their military school, as per the decision of superiors. Another recruiter criticized the shameless behavior of the military academy recruiter, stating that using military rank allurements for recruiting students was inappropriate. However, the military academy recruiter defended their offer, and another recruiter mentioned that their academy had the additional advantage of having an outstanding alumnus in charge of the Red Tiger Legion in another world. Both recruiters were eager to acquire Wang Teng. Wang Teng questioned both recruiters about the high restrictions on student freedom at the military academy. They tried to explain that the rules were for weaker students, and as Wang Teng was strong, he could break those rules. Impressed, Wang Teng decided to apply to the military academy. Lin Chuan was shocked, expecting him to apply to the #1 military school. However, Wang Teng thought the Huanghai military school was more suitable due to fewer restrictions on rules. Lin Chuan expressed her desire to apply to Donghai University, but she was a bit worried. Her second choice was to apply to the Institute of Technology. Wang Teng heard about the Institute of Technology and asked Lin Chuan if she would regret her decision later. Sadly, Lin Chuan explained her family situation and said there was nothing to regret. Wang Teng reassured her, stating that they would continue to be in the same city and walk together. Lin Chuan mentioned that graduation was approaching, and as it was getting late, she left. Wang Teng noticed that Lin Chuan was sad, but she didn't say anything. Suddenly, Lin Chuan asked Wang Teng if he would come to see her if she got admitted to Donghai University. With a smile, Wang Teng left, saying he would go when he had time. 3 days later, Lin Chuan called Wang Teng to inform him that she had been admitted to Donghai University, majoring in martial arts. Wang Teng congratulated her and felt happy for her hard work. He also decided that he needed to push himself further and become even stronger. He went towards his governor, the person who recruited Wang Teng to the military academy. The governor introduced Wang Teng to the martial arts team, and all the team members were 3-star warriors. Bilal, the person tasked with taking care of Wang Teng, was introduced. Everyone was impressed by Wang Teng, and each team member introduced themselves one by one. After the introductions, Wang Teng prepared himself with the equipment, realizing that the time had come to go to another world. He was impressed by the expensive equipment they provided, and learned that martial arts truly burned money on such gear. Boarding the car, they headed to a hidden place. Wang Teng was shocked to see a device resembling a wormhole that would take them to a different world. The governor informed him to go through it, promising that he would gain more. Upon reaching the other world through the wormhole with the magic of time travel, they discussed the discomfort many experienced during this process. However, Wang Teng showed no reaction, discovering a space element through the bubbles surrounding him, a significant gain for him. It seemed the world was very friendly to him.